it's crazy to think that like back in March, when obviously because I work at a news station, it's all newsy. The idea was that this was supposed to be a 2-week like stay-at-home thing.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be where we're at now and going into December, the end of the year. So it's insane, man. But it's, I mean, I'm still there just kind of doing my thing.
Nice.
Obviously, the podcast is still going on, West Box Score. That's been fun, you know, doing sports, kind of getting out of, you know, talking about it and whatnot. So that's always been fun to just kind of like watch the games and then have something to say after the fact. So, you know, that's been cool. That's been a cool little like just kind of like outside exercise that has been great. It's been doing well. But yeah, that's kind of how it's been for me so far. Musically, man, the last time we spoke, I was talking about doing the Instagram post with the thing, and that's what I did. And it's crazy that I put that out, and it was pretty cool. Like people were like really digging it. They were like, "Oh wow, like that! I like this beat. I like this beat." And it's funny because I want to say I put up everything that I had already worked on, which is like around 30 beats, but I sometimes dabble about whether I want to keep doing that again. I think the tough part, like we said last time we spoke, was just, you know, the getting everything together and making it right and perfect for all the platforms that you're doing it on. So like if you're doing it on Instagram, like, you know, you got the post version and then you got to do the story version, you know, and now freaking Twitter now has fleets. So now you have to do,
man,
you know what I mean? Facebook does stories as well. So it's crazy, man.
It's a lot to do. It's a second full-time job to stay posting on social media, and it's very hard. A lot of people don't look at it that way because I mean the norm just look at it as a place to share, you know, your daily photos or whatever. But when you're trying to make a business or a brand out of it, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm. You know, obviously I'm learning that as I go along. It's insane, man. And I give props to people that can actually do it more efficiently. That's why I think it's interesting seeing like sports team being able to post so fast on things like, oh, this guy's now a Dodger, and it's just like, oh dang, you see it right away, like welcome to LA, and then they do the post and it's like the guy with the jersey on and all that, you know.
Man, they got a whole squad though. That's what I tripped out on that too, because I was like, bro, who manages this stuff? Because it's gotta go. It happens so fast.
Yeah,
these guys gotta have an editor, someone to approve it, then someone to post it, write it. Like, man, it's insane.
I know, man. I wonder.
Big respect to that.
Do you know how much like that would pay to be like a social media graphic guy? Because I'm assuming the graphic guy is different than the guy that manages the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just for editing, you're probably looking at like probably 60, 50K a year.
Dang.
Because I'm pretty sure they're including all the travel and all the other good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if you're the social media, for sure, anywhere between 80 to 110, 120.
Oh, shoot. Dang.
Yeah, because that's a lot. You got to take a lot, man.
Yeah.
That one you take on everything. So responding, posting, like that one's for sure probably one of the most hectic jobs to have.
Dang, I can imagine, dude. I knew someone that was doing social media managing back when it wasn't where it's at now.
Yeah.
And I think it was definitely one of those things where like if you were able to build up, like if you knew how to work the game, which is the whole like, can you prove to get, you know, 10,000 followers in a certain amount of time, then obviously you were given the job. And I wonder now how that plays out. Like if it's still the same requirement, or is it like, has it gone up? I feel like it's gone up.
I'm pretty sure it's gone up. It's funny you say that. I was listening to a YouTube video today on Peter McKinnon on his YouTube video about how to grow your Instagram this year, because we all been home.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things he talked about, you know, like we're so impatient now with these accounts that we want to post something and get like 1 million likes right away, or like we want to go viral because we see it so happening. So like, I guess constant, like every other week we got something new that's coming on. Like right now it's that, what's that thing that ended up in Utah? That little, that silver pole.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I
forgot what they called it.
Yeah, I didn't read up on it, but I kind of saw it because then it started. Someone posted something else that was similar in a different part of the world, like
Yeah,
Romania or
dude.
something. So then I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
is this like a thing, like a gag or something, some sort
yeah.
of viral thing that's supposed to happen?
Yep, it went viral, man. Today my brother showed me Call of Duty, put it on in the video game. They put it up. A few people, I don't know who did one here in LA at Griffith Observatory. They did one, and yeah, people just putting things now in the
Oh
dirt
wow.
just to try to. So it became a viral thing, and like I told my brother, it's insane to see how like these little things can become so big just because it hits, man, on the internet. It booms.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
crazy.
Wow. Yeah,
But hey,
man.
man, whatever works. Again, it goes so fast. It's a few weeks, and then the next thing happens. So,
That's true, dude. I mean, look at the dude with the cranberry juice and Fleetwood
oh yeah,
Mac. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
bro.
DoggFace. Shout out to
Oh man,
DoggFace, man.
bro. Yeah, shout out to DoggFace, bro. Me and my cousin's been riding our one wheels and like trying to find a trending thing to do, and we've always talked about going, trying to get like sponsored by. I'll say it now. I don't want to. Hopefully, no one takes it from me, but we want because we love Simply Made lemonade.
Oh, okay.
Like addicted, man. Like that shit
Yeah,
don't last 24 hours in
it's
the
good,
house.
man.
Bro, it's so good. So we've always like, bro, we need something to like really give, kind of find a way for them to reach out to us. So when we saw that and how he got sponsored by
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
I told my cousin, like, bro, you've been riding your board for years, bro. Why didn't you come up with this
yeah.
idea?
I know,
But
bro.
again, it was just something that it was the vibe that he posted. Like when I first saw it, I didn't understand like why I was getting like why I had so many views. I had to watch it a few times to understand like when I ride my wheel or when I ride around just to kind of relax, to kind of get that exact imagery that he put on that video is that relaxation, that calm and just soothing. It's like, bro,
Yeah,
that beat and everything just matched the whole vibe. So
yeah,
I was like, bro, that's how I feel when I ride my board. I was like, so I understand now why
yeah,
it hit so hard. But yeah, man, I mean, congratulations to him, dude, making money, making moves. That's amazing.
yeah, man. He's one of those guys that my cousin sent me that video, the one that owns the studio right now where I'm at,
Mm.
and it was like funny because he's like, wait till the end, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I watch it, and of course it's funny because at the end he sings the song, which is the part that everyone flips out on. That this like
Yeah, yeah.
cholo looking dude is like singing the
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac, like Stevie Nicks' lines and everything. So I thought it was funny. But yeah, man, I think it's interesting seeing his success because he seems like the dude. I read his bio on the LA Times. They did a write up on him, like on
Oh, nice.
the whole viral sensation that he was, and it was really cool to see that he's very like he is who he is, and he talked about like that he just loves doing those videos, man, that he's like a TikTok guy,
Yeah.
that's his thing, and that like he works as a potato at a potato factory in Idaho, and that he just kind of lives like this simple life. And even though he's
Yeah.
getting like these endorsements now, right, like Ocean Spray, he did a commercial with Snoop recently, and I know he was featured, I think, with Wiz Khalifa on a music video, I think.
Yeah.
But it's cool that he's just kind of like doing it and he's just like having fun, but he's not trying to like be like super celebrity about it. Like he's not trying to take like the
Yep.
Kardashian route where he's like exploiting himself. He's more like, like it fits what I like to do. So let's just go ahead and
Yeah.
roll with it. And he kind of just seems like he's kind of low profile, but like still like, in a very
Yeah.
viral world, like how to be low profile and all that. I think it's good to see that, man.
Yeah, and I love the fact that I mean, I took it as a marketing idea, and I really respect that, even though it might have just been genuine, but I took it as a really dope marketing idea to when he first went so viral that he mentioned Gary Vee, like, oh, that was my motivation. He, just told me to
Yeah.
keep posting. And as soon as Gary got a hold of it, since it was a viral thing, Gary posted it, which made him more viral.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it was like a good link to have, like, and a good
Yeah.
idea to use. And I mean, hey, as a marketing, like, at least thinker in my head, I'm like, bro, that's the smartest way to keep your name buzzing is to
Yeah.
grab one of the most popular guys on social media with your trending video right now and make it happen. So
Yeah.
big respect to that and the way he's moving. And like you said, yeah, that's cool, man. He's genuine. I haven't seen him really like change up his whole mood because he got the cash or he's getting the celebrity love that he's getting.
Yeah,
I
man,
mean,
it's really
got the
cool seeing
Cheech and
that.
Chong shout out, bro. That's
That's right. He
amazing,
was
bro.
on the game. He kind of like, and it's funny because he does the plugs, and
Yeah,
it's so cool to see because it seems like someone who's like you probably could give him like an ad read, and
yeah,
he probably will just do it, and he'll do it his own way, and it just sounds so natural. But yeah,
yeah.
that was really cool. The Cheech and Chong feature on the video game. I did see the video that after he blew up, where he said, "Oh wow, thank you guys, we did it. Like I've been doing these videos, and I wanted finally a hit." So that was cool to see. So I was like, "Oh okay," but it's good to see that like obviously even though he has a day job and he does all this stuff, like he still has goals in life. And I think one of his goals is I want one of my dance videos to take off, and it happened. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And again, that's a major respect coming from someone that just, having fun with what they do with their hobbies, man. Like you
Yeah,
said, the simple life. He just rides, dances, and
yeah,
bro, it worked for him. So I mean, big congrats. A lot of people hated on him at first. I saw the hate too, and I was like, man, it comes with success. So you
yeah.
need the hate. And I was like, man, I was happy for him, man.
Nah, for real.
And anyone that deserves that shot and they get it, that's an amazing thing, man. So
Yeah, me
congrats
too,
to him.
man. Especially if you're Latino too, dude.
For real.
Can't be bringing
We don't.
ourselves down.
Yeah. And it's always that, man. That's the shitty part. We always come down on each other like that. So
Yeah.
uh, that was me and my cousin at first because my cousin were like, "Oh, bro, that was like our idea." At first, we were kind of like shady about it because we're like, "Bro, why didn't we like?" But at the end of the day, we sat down, we looked at it like, "Bro, he did it right." We
Yeah.
weren't doing things like that. No, again, correct. Congrats to him, man. That's
Yeah, that
amazing.
was dope, man. That was really cool to see, dude. It's interesting seeing that like Joe Budden now. Um, it doesn't seem like anything really changed post Spotify. I think his
Yeah,
audience is still there. I think if anything, he built a network now, right? I think I saw that, and
yeah,
that's good for him. You know what I mean? I think for the most part, it's kind of where he's at. Like I think that's good that he's there. Seems like Spotify, is cool with the whole move too, because now they got Rogan and looks like they're moving on with their projects and stuff. I saw that the Ringer when they bought it, now all of a sudden the Ringer has a bunch of quote unquote Spotify originals out there, and they got the Michelle Obama podcast, which I think was a big get for them.
man.
You
Yeah,
know,
when I saw that, I wanted to text you about that, but I figured we talk about it sometime. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, bro, that's gonna boom like instant. I was like, that's amazing that they even got that on hand. So that's those are big names,
yeah.
man. So
Yeah, I know some of the people that work on the Michelle Obama podcast. They used to work
oh
at my
nice.
at my station where I'm at,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, they left, and then out of nowhere we just saw the tweet of like, "Hey, this is what we've been working on. We haven't said anything," and I'm like, "What
Dang.
the heck? You're with the first lady,
That's
like former
awesome.
first
Yeah.
lady of the United States. That's huge, dude. But it's really cool, like seeing like people go out and kind of like build the connections and all that. And I think the story was that like they built a small like production podcast company and they knew someone that linked them to the Obamas because the Obamas now have their own media production company called I think Higher Ground, I think it's called.
Oh
So
nice.
they basically were able to link up via third party, and then they're the ones that landed, like saying like you landed the contract with them. And I thought that was
Very
cool to see
nice.
that. I thought I was like so cool to see like, dang, like I was working with these people. Like I remember being in the studio with them and now they're out there, hanging out with the Obamas. That's crazy.
Man, that's big.
And I think for Spotify, I think it was more like thank you, Joe Budden. But like
Yeah.
now we got bigger names. So you
Yeah,
know what I
man,
mean?
for real.
Good luck. And I
Yeah,
think it's good for Joe Budden too.
yeah, I mean, for him to have them as a big anchor is really dope because he gets to expand his wings a little more and watching like how he's been doing his video interviews and taking those extra steps to really like make it his own.
Yeah.
I feel like looks really good. So, I mean, that's from the beginning when he started this whole thing. I figured that's what he really wanted to do is kind of have his own place to really just express himself, which is dope. I mean, again, it's something that a lot of people do like. Again, I feel like he's a big reflection of Charlemagne the God, that blunt, like real kind of like forward about any of his opinions. I
Yeah,
think
no
people really
filter.
enjoy that. Yeah. So I think that's dope, and he ran with that and was able to at least like make it his own.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like even his show feels a little bit different from the YouTube clips I've seen cuz like obviously every podcast now does clips. I
Yeah,
noticed that the energy is a little different. And I could tell like he probably feels a little bit more at ease cuz now he's in control of it. And like you
Yeah.
said, Charlemagne the God is like I guess like the other person you can compare him to, because they have that same mentality of being very blunt, very like no filter.
Yeah.
Even though I know I saw that one video where he criticized Charlemagne because Charlemagne now has his own podcast network with iHeartMedia. I
Yeah.
think it's called the Black Effect Podcast Network, and it's basically like kind of similar to like the BET podcast where it's
Mm.
black voices and a lot of black shows. And I think they got the one that was with Showtime, up all the smoke with Matt Barnes
Oh,
and
okay.
Stax, and they got them on their network, which I think is cool. And I guess the Breakfast Club is part of the network, even though what they're doing, they're just repurposing the Breakfast Club show
Yeah.
again, so for podcast listening. And I know Budden was kind of getting at Charlemagne for that, because he was like, you don't really own that network. Like you needed iHeart's help to get it, and I own everything I do. And I mean, obviously this is just Budden's way of trying to like let people know like I am not like Charlemagne the God, even though everyone
Yeah.
compares me to him, you know.
Yeah, I think it's more though of his personality that I feel it reflects a lot of, and I saw that from the get go though. Back when he was with Complex doing that, I was like, kind of doing like a mirror image and a more aggressive version. Because I mean, you were in the game, so I feel you have a higher stance, and your opinion means a little more to
Yeah.
say the things he was saying. So
Yeah.
I took it a little more to heart. Like, yeah, this guy has been in the game. He knows the game. You know, he's been around all these artists, so he has more the right to state these opinions. And I've always felt that, even with Charlemagne being a Radiohead. But I mean, you're involved, but you're not really like there. You know, so
Yeah.
for an artist to really put their feet in and get that part wet, I felt like, and you know, tamper with that water a little bit was cool to see. And again, man, his stuff's good. I feel his opinion sometimes when he overblows it. I'm like, bro,
Yes.
it gets old for me, because I'm like, all right, we know it's coming. We just got to wait for what time of the show he's going to blow up.
Yeah.
Which is dope. But no, I mean, again, it's dope that he anchored down with them. And he definitely did change, again, like you said, the energy did move a little more to, I want to say, more in control of the show. It looks like he's more relaxed.
Yeah. I noticed that.
I think that's dope.
I noticed that too, that he just seems like someone who's not feeling like that kind of angst he was feeling towards the end of the Spotify deal, where he was kind of just like, oh, I kind of want this contract to be done with. I don't want to be repped by this company anymore. And then he went off on that rant that he did and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like now that the water's settled, he's doing his thing. I think his show sounds a little bit better now, and I think Spotify's kind of moved on too. I feel like in a way it was good for both of them, even though I know he was bothered because of probably the money part mostly, you know, because you see them give, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm referencing that to the Dave Chappelle situation with Netflix.
Yeah.
I was gonna say kind of like that at ease, you know, like that ranting about HBO doing what they did to him.
Yeah.
And like not giving him his respect, but Netflix came around, was like, hey, we're friends, you know, let's keep it cool.
That was
I kind of feel
huge.
like that's kind of the same story behind Budden and Spotify, you know, like they had a conversation, you know, they wrote him the check, like, look, let's make you feel at ease. Let's give you what you need, you know, your freedom, and, you know, let's cut the bull. You bring us a lot of attention. Like, we like it. We need it. So
yeah. No, that's
all in
good.
all, man, business is business, but you also got to have a good friendship behind that business so it can flourish better.
It was a good stepping stone for Spotify, who's definitely like now getting really aggressive with podcasting. Like, they look like they want to take out Apple. I don't know if you saw or if you've gotten your Spotify Wrapped in 2020, like where it looks back at everything that you've played and it tries to highlight it for you.
I think we had that conversation last time. Since I rarely use my Spotify, they probably not give me.
Oh, that's right. You told me that you're Apple Music. That's right.
Apple Music guy. Damn, sorry, Spotify.
Yeah, so they tell you like who's the most you've listened to. They even put it up a podcast charts for you. Like, you the most podcasts you've listened to. It's funny because it put Joe Rogan as number 2 for me, even though I've only listened to like 2 episodes, and it's only because I wanted to listen to the Kanye West episode, and that was like my first time ever listening to Joe Rogan like from start to finish. Like, other than that, I've only watched them on YouTube. But my friend Alex, my co-host, he told me like, yo, like he drops the link and then it's like, oh shoot, that's right, Kanye said he was gonna be on it, but I didn't believe it, and then it came out, and then I was like, oh, this is gonna be the first time I'm gonna listen to Joe Rogan, like full through, right? I found out that he does like 7 minutes worth of advertisement in the beginning of the show.
Oh wow.
And then he does the conversation after the fact. But yeah, the Kanye one was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I think me being a Christian, I understand a lot of stuff he's saying. Like I totally get where he's coming from. But I could see people that don't go to church or never were in that Christian culture. Like I could see
Yeah.
how it can go over your head, or you kind of think he's a little off. To me, I'm used to that kind of language. Like the stuff that he says, all that language, I'm used to it. The whole like God called me, God called me. I'm just doing what God said, and I totally understand that. But I mean, overall, I think the misconception is like, dude, sometimes you can be a little too much.
Yeah. Well, that comes with his status of being an icon. He wasn't talking about that before. So when you see people change like that, the fans, the critics, they take it and they say whatever they can to make you look weird.
Yeah.
And it goes to like what most big artists do now. Like, when like M's latest album, when he said, they want me to be old Slim Shady, but then they say I'm too old to be that guy, but they don't like when I'm older me because I'm not being who I was when I first started. Like
Mhm.
there's no perfect, we can't find the perfect pick for us because what we expect out of them, and they can't even be themselves. So when we do see different things or odd things like that, that to a lot of other people it's a norm, and like you said, like to you, you're used to it versus to another person it's like, oh, that guy's crazy, what's he talking about? Like you're like, nah man. And funny you say that because yeah, a few of my friends that like really deep into like the Christian religion, I do remember them being real hard on that and stuff, and I was always like a little weird off about it, like all right, like okay, like cool,
Yeah.
that's your energy, that's dope. But and you do think that at first, if you never encountered any encounter with something like that, you kind of like, oh, dude's a little nuts.
Yeah. No,
Anytime you hear
exactly.
anyone talk like that, so
No,
yeah,
exactly. I
man,
I understand. I'm in the minority that actually like the gospel album that he put out.
yeah,
But to me, it's like it's a gospel album. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not a rap album, which I get. That's what people were complaining. They wanted another Kanye rap album, but he didn't do that.
and
I
yeah,
was I was also expecting a Kanye rap album, but he didn't do that. And yeah, I
yeah, we
like the
all want
Sunday
that
service.
college dropout.
Yeah, people want that old Kanye, the
It's
Kanye, I guess he calls it.
yeah, that Kanye.
They call me
Yeah, man,
Kanye.
that ain't coming, man. It's past time, man. Just you grow.
Yeah, no, exactly. I totally get what he's trying to do. I just think that it just, it's like what Rogan said. It's like you just, your train of thought is just it's just different. And I think it doesn't
Yep.
flow with the normal things that we see here. So maybe that's what
Yeah.
it rubs people the wrong way. And that's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only one. The other one that I listened to from Rogan was the Alex Jones one. And that's just because I was really curious because there was that whole controversy of Spotify employees not wanting to, or like the Spotify employees like didn't put the more right wing episodes when they transitioned over to Spotify, the Joe Rogan show.
Oh.
So they like took out the Alex Jones episode and like a couple other right wing
Yeah.
people like that were like extreme right wing. So I was like curious because he was like he brought Alex Jones on, so I was like, oh, I want to hear this, and yeah, it is like funny. Well, to me, it's funny. It's like Alex Jones just going off on all his stuff. That's like it's ridiculous, but like in a weird way, it's entertaining. Like for
Yeah.
me, it's entertaining. Like I see that as entertainment, but I do get that it rubs people the wrong way. Like super liberal types that like really just can't stand people like that. I just think it. But to me, it's just funny. It's like this guy's like a character, But I totally get
Yeah.
why Spotify employees got bothered because it almost comes off like misinformation, all the stuff that he says and all that. He said some really wild
Yeah.
stuff. I forgot what it was, but a lot of that was wild about a bunch of stuff. It was crazy. But yeah, those
Yeah.
were the only two. And somehow Spotify was like, "Yo, that's your number 2 podcast." I'm like, "What? No." Like I've listened to like more episodes of like Simmons and stuff. I don't know what you guys want, but I get it's Spotify. They probably want to put their people up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because it's probably one of the most popular. It just fits that genre to put it on top when you listen to it a few times or once or twice.
Yeah.
It's the most popular, so we'll put it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your post on that. I thought that was cool. A lot of my friends were posting all that, and I thought that was really dope to see. Like that, it breaks down like the individual, 1 through 5 or 1 through
Yeah,
et cetera.
yeah.
Like how many likes, how many or listens that you put through. Like I think that's really dope because it connects the user with the platform.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a listening platform, I think that's really cool that it's expanding to that, so you can throw it out and put it on social media and share it with everyone. I think that's really dope, and probably the best way to keep everyone connected, because then it starts conversations like this one where we start talking about, well, why is that on your top 5? Like, who is that? Or give people the curiosity, like, why? Let me go listen to these 5 artists that I've never seen before. So I think that's really dope and amazing way to push out all those music and podcasts. Basically, free advertisement for them.
Yeah, still gotta wait on yours. Rap 2020.
Yeah, man.
They'll be like, you haven't listened to us enough.
It's gonna be like one song.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like an old Kendrick track that I listened to way back when I had it.
Yeah, sing about me.
That's fun. Yeah, man. I'll laugh if it is too, because I rarely use it. It's occasionally I'll throw it on just for shuffle, but man, Apple Music is great to me, so I can't hate on it.
Yeah.
Apple will probably do the same thing though. Watch. It's a battle of the bands, man.
I mean, I'm still a little bothered that Apple doesn't let you share on Instagram for stories the way Spotify does.
Yeah, dude. And I saw you did that with the pod. I was like, bro, how do you do that? So I went on my Spotify. I was like, bro, what? Like, that's dope.
Yeah. And they let you do it on anything, like music, podcasts. And I'm like, well, yeah, I kind of want to share some of this music too. Yeah. Obviously, because I want people to know what I'm listening to. But at the same time, some of the stuff that I listen to are people that I encounter online that I end up befriending that are maybe, rappers and stuff. And this is their album and they're indie. And I'm just okay, I'll share this. I like the album. Let me share it and stuff. So it's cool that there's a feature.
Yeah, I like that better than just adding the song through Instagram to a post. I like that idea better. Yeah, adding the actual link so they could go click and go listen to it and get those views and plays up.
Yeah, man. And the thing is that to me, from the podcast side, Apple's still the place people listen to podcasts to the most. I get that Spotify wants to do their thing in terms of trying to beat them out. But dude, everybody's so accustomed to Apple Podcasts, bro. You shoot someone the Apple Podcast link, most likely they'll click it. You shoot them the Spotify, it's this whole oh, okay, I forgot my login to Spotify or whatever, At least that's what I've seen. And then now Google does their own podcast hosting thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is pretty cool, because if you have your Google account, your Gmail account, you just subscribe to anything and it just is already linked to it. So you could do it from your desktop, and then you can download the app, and the app will just shoot up all the ones you've already subscribed to because it's linked to your Gmail account, your Google account. So it goes by that. So I thought that was cool. But I think Google, obviously, I think they're a little behind. I don't know. I can't see them competing at all. I think it's just more it's just you're an Android user.
Yeah, it's they always follow late, but they just jump in the mix just to do it.
Yeah.
We're here too. Don't forget about us.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Now I was gonna say, I think my anchor today showed me that, go look at where your shows are listed on the Spotify thing. And I was like, oh, that's dope. It kind of gave me a little reminder.
Oh, that's cool.
Clicked on it. Yeah, and I accidentally messed up because I was trying to edit the show I had put up, the one you sent me, the one we did last time.
Oh, yeah.
And I trimmed it, and I didn't know you couldn't untrim, so I messed up the whole damn. I got to re-upload it again. I was mad. I was I was trying to split it, so I was maybe if I just zoom in and put a start and finish here, then it'll crop. But I had never used that before on Anchor, and I cropped it, and it was just a little hiss, and I was like, what the hell?
Oh, dang.
Oh, so I was I was trying to figure out how to use it to split so we could put the advertisements and all that in there.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
It was showing me oh, don't forget to add these. I was I should try it just to see how ads work, because I've never done it with Anchor before, but wanted to give it a whirl, but messed it up. So I'll probably repost that one again and this one back to back so we could get some love on both.
Yeah, let's do that, dude. I forgot what that was called. There's a name for that. The whole where they insert the ad.
Yeah, it was on I was just looking at it because I clicked on it and I forgot the name of it too. Yeah, it was earlier today.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but there's a name for it, because that's gonna be the future. That's gonna be the future for advertisement, dude. What's that company? Oh shoot, there's a company that bought another company that does that ad style of just inserting it in podcasts, especially old podcasts that didn't have ad reads,
okay.
Cause that's the idea. The idea is that if you get sponsors now, obviously you would read the sponsors, and then you kind of built your show around it. But there was a time where you didn't have sponsors, and this company lets you insert those ads so that like that
You
way
could
you can
get.
generate, some sort of monetary thing on your old,
Oh, that's
shows that didn't
amazing.
have it. That's the whole
Yeah.
idea of it. And I think like I know Anchor is like that's their thing. That
Yeah.
the way they see it is like, well, we want you to make some money, so just select some areas where we could put the show in or put the ad in
Yeah.
and stuff. I've heard
Yeah.
podcasts though where they just cut you mid sentence and it goes, and I'm just like, oh, that sounds bad. So I don't think the person did it right, or the company just threw it in wherever they felt was good.
I was gonna say, I think it's more of the podcast performers that do the edits. I think they just forget to like do a pause. Like right now, if we were to stop, like, all right, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break and just kind of give it a little pause so that cut can come in. I think they're just talking and they forget to do, and then they're like, shoot, where do we put this ad in? Because we need to get paid. So they're just randomly just throw it in mid sentence where they see a gap. Because that's what I was trying to do too. I was like, where did me and Donald like pause so I could just like throw it in there?
Yeah.
So I found like one little space, but again, I zoomed in and I just cropped it to it, and I was like, damn. But yeah, I was gonna do that too. I was gonna jump in the middle of a sentence. Would have been funny though to hear. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna re-record before the ad, because it's an Anchor ad. I'm gonna just say, hey, we're gonna pause real quick to read this advertisement, and then I'm gonna put it somewhere where we pause, so it sounds like it's a transition versus just a straight break.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was gonna say, I think that
good.
it feels like that's gonna be something you're gonna have to like go on Pro Tools or something and like maybe slice it in and then drop it and then kind of there's always ways to do it, bro. Like some of the podcasts I edit, they just literally do the conversation like throughout. And they tell me like, just throw the ad in wherever you feel would be a good place to throw it in.
Oh,
and
wow.
usually what I do is I just look for like the answer to finish from the guest.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I'll fade up the music. Like I'll make music fade up, to kind of like cue that they're about to go to a break. But he doesn't say it. It just goes to the advertisement read. And then as it ends, he's starting the next question. He's all like, so you were told me that, and then that's how I do it, just so it sounds clean. But like, even then, like it is a little bit of work having to look for a spot. Like, because even when it comes to the next question, like I want to make sure it's like a clean question, not like a follow-up, where it sounds like, like it was part of the other topic that they just recently talked about.
Yeah, that's what was the hardest part. Is like, where could I cut to make it sound like it continues off right versus it just pausing and it just sounding like I just chopped just to chop. So that's hard, man. That's cool though. That's actually a smart idea to do it that way.
Yeah, especially like because they already have like the ad read ready. I just got to put the music and whatnot, so I just choose it. But it is easier though when they tell me like you can put the ad read here, and then it's just like, oh, I don't have to think about it, because then I have to like really listen to the show. I just kind of like can just focus on editing and getting it together and making sure it sounds right.
Yeah, that's true. Save the time. That's fun, man.
Yeah,
it's really dope. So how you feel about those Grammys, bro? I didn't even want to look at it because I saw like a big like everyone was kind of talking shit about the first few lists, and I was like, damn, bro, Grammys making shit up again, just throwing random people in there I never even heard of.
I know, dude. I feel like what's crazy is about the best rap album is I listened to all of them minus, and I feel bad about the Royce da 5'9" one, but I didn't listen to that one yet. It was on my list, but I just never got around to listening to it. But people were talking about it like, yo, Royce did a good job on this album, And I was like, oh, okay. But then when it got the Grammy nomination, I'm like, okay, I definitely have to like now listen to the whole thing. So I finally listened to the whole thing. I thought it was a great album. Obviously, he's coming from a perspective of like a grown black man who is a father and wants to make sure like young black men, grow up knowing like their history, knowing like that they're empowered, that they can do things, that they're not limited by their circumstances, or they're not limited by the neighborhoods they live in or anything like that. So I thought that was really cool. It was a very empowering album. And then the other album that I didn't listen to was D Smoke's Black Habits. And
I didn't get to listen to that.
It was really good, dude. It's D Smoke. I didn't know who he was. I read his bio while I was listening to it, like midway through after the Snoop Dogg song, which I think was a really impressive song. Probably I would say Snoop's best feature of 2020. I thought that his album to me was really good. So like D Smoke's from Inglewood, and I guess he's the
Yeah.
brother or cousin of Sir from TDE.
Yep.
I think that's his brother. So when you listen to the album, it sounds like that whole like new West Coast Kendrick, J Rock, TDE like
Kind of
adjacent
sound.
like sound. You know what I mean? Like that new West Coast sound that
Yeah.
Kendrick kind of made popular. So it was like that. It was really cool. It was kind of refreshing, like production wise. It just reminded me of like the Kendrick stuff. It reminded me of the Nipsey stuff. And it
Nice,
reminded
yep.
me of all that, like just like the new West Coast that's coming up. So I thought it was cool. Like he has like one song that's in Spanish and like three songs where he does like a verse in Spanish because apparently the dude graduated with a degree in Spanish from UCLA.
Yeah.
And he teaches it, or he taught it, I would say, at Inglewood High School.
Oh wow. Yeah, I remember I saw him on the Netflix special, and
That's what I heard.
yeah, like so when I heard this one before he blew up, like before he got the deal and everything, like I heard his flow and I was like, yeah, this dude's about to go big. Like if this didn't help him just blow up, like underground wise, like if he doesn't make it through the show, like it's gonna help him like just in the streets get his name out. And then when him and Snoop, I don't know if you saw the episode when they kind of had this little gangbanging moment.
Oh no.
Where they like Snoop's like, hey, where you from? And he was like he kind of knew how he needed to answer.
Yeah.
So he kind of just told him, and then Snoop was like, all right, like I see how it is. Like,
yeah.
And he just told him, like, yeah, man, like, so I'm from, Inglewood. But when I was like, bro, that's crazy, got banged on by Snoop, bro. Like, shit, like, how do you like stand up to that? And then when I saw he won and he was going about his music, so to see him on that list, man, that's huge, bro. I respect that big time because I remember he was talking like giving his backstory, and he did a few lines in Spanish on the show where he was finishing the song, and I was like, damn, like his Spanish is pretty like solid, and I was like, man, like we need that collab again, that black and brown love. So I was like, bro, that felt good to see that. And to see him now on that list, bro, those are big names he's sitting next to. So
yeah,
you got we got the biggest name on there. You got Nas, so that's crazy, bro, to even just be next to him. But then you got 5ix9ine too. Like those are really big lyricists, and then Jay Electron, right there, bro. Just those are three big names, bro, to just have to be categorized with. So I think, his goal is definitely reached, and that's awesome that he's nominated for that.
Yeah, no, man, I was surprised. I was surprised by that album. I kind of felt bad that I didn't know about it sooner. I think it came out like in February, so I definitely was like not aware at all. But I heard a lot that a lot of his fame came from the Netflix show, which again I didn't know was out there, but it was cool. I liked it. I liked that. I just sat back and I just listened to it, and I thought it was a great album. Not sure how strong it'll be compared to the other guys that are on that list, but I think for the most part, getting the mention is good. I saw that a lot of people were bothered because like Lil Baby, a lot of people felt Lil Baby deserved to be nominated. But
man, I feel like those are good, but just because of the list on this, man, it's hard to put anyone else on there.
Yeah, and I think we do this every year, or every year this always happens, is that you put the nominees are out, and then everyone, like there's always someone that complains about like, oh, like this isn't right, or the Grammy messed up, or the Grammy's overlooking. Yeah. I feel like it always happens though. Like it's just unfortunate. That's just how it works. I don't know what the rules are for the Grammys or what you need to do to be considered, but I'm sure if I was in their shoes, I'd be bothered too. But that's just kind of how it is. Bieber was complaining about not being featured for R&B, that his album was an R&B album, not a pop album. Yeah. Which is kind of like, well, dude, at least be thankful that you were nominated. You know what I mean? Like, other people are complaining that they weren't even nominated and they deserve to be like Lil Baby, So I don't know. I haven't even heard Lil Baby's album.
I haven't heard that one either. No, but I feel like what you said earlier though is what we're talking about. I think that favoritism still goes into, how are we going to get people to talk about this list? How are we going to get people to click in and look at it? You got to put names that people know already.
Yeah.
And you can't deny that Nas's album wasn't or shouldn't be on that list.
Yeah.
That thing was amazing, but you're going to put him too as a, I would say as if you're one of the Grammy, organizers, going to be like, we got to put this on there because that's one of the top old school artists that just dropped something new. And man, it was buzzing when it dropped. It was buzzing. It had the streets talking, so it was dope to see. And I thought I didn't even think Royce would make it, bro. He's been underground for so long. That's amazing to even see his name on that list. And congrats to
Yeah,
that.
right.
That's so dope.
That was the biggest takeaway I saw, that a lot of people are like, yo, like they're actually recognizing like rap music, like rap, not
Yeah,
like, trap or mumble or none of that, like straight lyricism. But yeah, it was cool to see Royce. It was cool to see Nas. Definitely, those are two guys that I feel like a lot of people say the same thing, which is like they're due for some sort of award that's a legit award, like a Grammy. And
yeah,
man, hopefully they get, maybe one of them gets it. A lot of people are saying maybe Nas will get it. I know his album was like short too. I think it was like 35 minutes or something. I remember it came out and I listened to it like 2 times straight because that's how short it
yeah,
was. Whereas like Royce's album was like an hour long, so I only listened to it like that one time that I did it just to catch up on it.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, Jay Electronica's was pretty good too. I mean, again, like me coming from like growing up as a Christian and knowing a lot of that stuff in a spiritual sense, like I don't have a problem with what Jay Electronica does as far as like making rap music spiritual.
yeah.
I thought that was great. I liked his album a lot. So I thought that his album to me was great. But I feel like out of that whole list, Jay Electronica's is like the one where you like the album or you hate it. Like you just hate the fact that this is like something he
Yeah,
put
he's
out. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And you can't really say that about the other guys. The other guys, it feels like um like the Nas one, you could kind of say like, let me listen to it again, and then it warms up to you, and some of those albums grow on you. D Smoke grows
yep.
on you, and all that. Even Freddie Gibbs, which you haven't mentioned, like that album has like replay value to me. Like I've listened to that album like maybe like 3-4 times already. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
was
I
about
mean?
to.
So
I was leaving them for the last because I really liked it too. I mean, versus I didn't hear the ones that for sure I didn't listen to, the J Electronica and the D Smokes. I didn't hear. I wanted to listen to D Smokes, but I just, like you said, I think that sound just kind of, I didn't want to vibe off of it yet, off
yeah,
of like that Kendrick, kind of TDE sound. I was trying to like wait to see what the vibes were after the like this whole, maybe next year, see like tap into it and see what's going on, because I like to let those albums sit, especially when they're new West Coast artists, to see what the West does with them.
yeah.
Because if they didn't show them love, like I haven't heard. I thought it was a new album they nominated him for. So if it's still for that first album he dropped, then that means, yeah, man, that means his credibility and the credit he deserves still wasn't given to him as it should have been. So I got to listen to that now, really dissect that up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good
But
listen. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Jay Electronica's, I think I personally, again, I liked it. That's my like bias, is that like I liked the album when
yeah,
it came out start to finish. I thought it was great.
nice.
I know like the criticisms I heard of it were it's too spiritual because he talks a lot about like Allah and his Muslim faith, Islam.
That's tight though.
And then the other criticism was that Jay-Z's like almost on every single song, which is true. He has like he has like a verse in almost every song. I think like maybe 2 songs where Jay Electronics by himself, but Jay-Z's on the album like majority of the time. It almost feels like it's a duo album. But my thing with Jay-Z's features is that like when you're used to hearing Jay-Z do Jay-Z music,
Yeah,
the Hova thing and all that, like it's crazy to see like how he's able to do like that thing where he's like he's telling you like I know I'm rich and all that stuff, and then here's my
yeah,
perspective on life, like the 444 album, very like I know
yep,
I'm old, I know I'm rich, and I have like marital problems here and there, and but I'm also like an entrepreneur and I know what it takes to win and I'm very successful, and it's like he's basically telling you stuff that he's into. In
yeah,
Jay Electronica's album though, it felt like he bent to Jay's like kind of like maybe request to say, can you be, spiritual with me? And you could see like
yeah.
Jay-Z like really give into that. Like I was surprised to see Jay-Z not rap the way Jay-Z normally does, but rap in a very different manner that I think was
That's
more
interesting.
complimentary to the album that was A Written Testimony. So I thought that that was great. I thought that it was cool to see Jay-Z kind of flow differently, in terms of like lyricism. Like he talked about a lot of spiritual things that were just, they complemented Jay Electronica's like verses very well. So it almost felt like he knew like this is still Jay Electronica's album. I'm not gonna come in here and try to outdo you or anything like that. Like I want to do this with you. So it was cool. Like, it was really cool seeing that.
That's really dope, man. That's awesome for you to say, especially to review it like that, man. That I gotta dissect it too, man. I'm gonna have to go in on these.
Yeah, man.
I haven't because I just been waiting, man. I've been stuck in a little vibe, so I'm like, let me not go full in to listen to anything new to it. Like this year kind of comes to a settle, which I think by this time I usually do tune into like everything that was put out.
Yeah.
And listening to like whatever I missed out on, because again, I like to catch up and then see what happens coming this next year to see like, all right, did they really develop? What's the growth on all these songs?
Yeah. Is there anything that has stuck out to you that you've listened to?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I haven't. Besides the 5ix9ine album that I tapped into, and Nas's album, those were the only ones I really went in on this year to be like 100%. Because I thought I wanted to hear what 5ix9ine was gonna do from his last album, which was Book of Ryan.
Book of Ryan, yeah.
And I was like really interested on what he was gonna do next. So this one, yeah, like you said, he just went really like so personal and like motivational to the Black community. And I thought that was what a lot of people needed, especially coming from his genre and his era.
Yeah. Very like, reflective of 2020 with the killings and everything. You know what I mean?
And I was like, man, that's something I feel he got no credit for when I first heard it, because it like gave me goosebumps listening to it. I was out for a run at the bowl and I stood the whole time to make sure I finished it. I replayed a few songs. That's how like deep they got. And I was like, man, like he's really like coming out of his norm to really like show his true how he feels right now. Like, give that true art of rap, what he's known to do, like, and give back to that part of hip hop and rap that I love. So I was like, man, I gave him a lot of credit. And I didn't think he got any credibility for that, because I only listened to it for the first month it was out. Then I just started listening to other things.
Yeah.
And I thought, I was like, man, that's crazy that he didn't get the love that I felt he should have got on it right off the back. But
yeah,
again, it works that way. I heard the Big Sean one was cool. I listened to that one too.
Oh yeah. I got halfway through that one. Yeah,
I liked it a little, but Sean, to me, after a while, like the style of delivery I get too used to it, so I kind of bores me a bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's a bad thing that I dislike about it, because he has some dope stuff and good lyrics, and I think his delivery to me just kind of starts sounding the same on every track. So I just kind of get like, all right, next.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Kind of idea, but.
Yeah, sometimes that's the thing. Sometimes some rappers, it's one of those things where like you could tell like they're not trying to do anything groundbreaking. They just want to put another album for the fans that they already have.
Yep.
The album that I recently listened to that was blown away, and I know a lot of people were too, was the new Busta Rhymes.
Man, I haven't got to that one either. I heard the one with him and Kendrick on it, and I was like, bro, that thing's gonna be amazing, and I just never tapped back into it.
Dude, it's I'm not gonna spoil it. That's a good one. Honestly, if he was nominated in this one, which I'm sure he'll probably be nominated on the next year's, because I think it might be the deadline thing, I think he's gonna take it, dude. For it being a Busta Rhymes album and people probably thinking like, yo, this dude's kind of old. And I was talking to my other friend about this, and he was telling me like, yo, like, let's see how this is going to sound. And I kind of said, well, sometimes with a lot of these older cats like Nas and stuff, they're not really doing anything for like to gain new fans. They're just doing what they're doing for the fans they got. So maybe it'll be something like that, like just something for us that grew up listening to Busta Rhymes, woo ha, and all that, the Flip Mode Squad and everything. So that's what I thought. Yeah, Flip Mode. And that's what I thought. And no, it was like one of those like rappers are being put on notice that this dude can come in and still take the crown if you wanted to. But yeah, it was really great. The first song sets the tone. It's with Rakim. But dude, it sets the tone, bro. Like it's definitely a good album to go run to. That's for sure. There's definitely bangers. Sure. There's some nostalgia in it. Because he does a collab with Mariah Carey. So if you're a fan of I'll Give It to You, that song that he did with Mariah a long time ago,
he kind of comes back on that.
It's yeah, the way they produce it, man. It's pretty cool. I like the way they did that. And then
those are hits, bro.
So yeah, he brought it, dude. He really brought it. So it was cool to hear that album. It was a really good listen. So yeah, Busta Rhymes, man. ELE2.
Yeah, man, I have to run through that for sure, man. Yeah, 30 tracks, man. That's crazy.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, man. Definitely have to check that out. I did have it added, so.
Oh, you added it right now?
No, I said I had it added earlier when I heard the Kendrick one again, because I know I heard that one. I think it leaked.
Yeah.
And I remember I heard it and I was like, bro, that's just gonna be dope. But then it came back and I was like, oh, let me add that album and I'll get to it. But again, I stick to certain songs for so long and like certain albums, I just kind of keep pulling it until I'm like, all right, cool. Like, Logic's album, No Pressure.
Oh, that's right.
That one,
his last album.
Yeah, like I've been pulling and pulling, trying to see which one, like if I really like it. And there's some songs in there that I really do vibe with harder than the rest. But again, it's because some of them still feel like that Incredible True Story sound, which I personally think is his best work. So I feel that a really good way to close out, your career, his retirement career.
He's a Twitch guy now.
Yeah, making money on Twitch. He sold out. No,
I know, right?
It's good though, man. I mean, I thought it was really good stuff, and yeah, I mean, still again dissecting that one as much as I can to see like what level I'm gonna put that at, if it's gonna be a classic or not. But it's getting there, man. It's getting there. Like I just got to keep putting it through to make sure, like again, those lyrics got to get to me as I keep playing it.
You're gonna do your top 5 of 2020?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to do it manually because that was fun.
You have to listen to Busta Rhymes though before you start your list. That's all I'll say.
Oh yeah. I'll go through that.
Off all the albums that came out, that has to be the one you have to listen to. Like I listened to Static Selector's new album, and I'd be like, yeah, it's a good album. I liked it. I thought it's just Static Selector though. Like it's his production, and he just has a bunch of rappers on it, like Jada Kiss and like. I forgot what MOP's on it. Just a lot of New York stuff. Joey Badass is on it.
I like Joey, man.
Joey Badass is so dope, man. I wish he did more music. He
teased us, bro, with some singles. I've been waiting for an album, bro.
Yeah,
like, dropped the damn album when I think it was the Light Pack. He had that one song, or I think he had 2 songs that came out with it, and I was like, bro, give me an album, please. I haven't heard an album from you in a while.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean that those are definitely good artists, man, to throw on an album. So
yeah, I wish Spotify had a feature where you can just kind of add to your queue, but like it be on a separate list, because what happens is it adds it to your current. So when the song ends, whatever your song you're on, it plays the queue right away. And I'm like, no, I just want to have it like in a watch list, like something that I'm gonna eventually get to. Because if not, then I have to research for everything again. And if I research, I might forget what I was trying to look for.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
The other one I liked was the Run the Jewels 4 too. That was a good one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I heard a little bit of that one.
Yeah, they have a good song with Pharrell and Zach De La Rocha, and it was a really cool story I heard on Rick Rubin's podcast, Broken Record. They had Run the Jewels as the guest, and LP was like, so we did this song, and Zach De La Rocha, I told him like, yo, can you do a verse? He said, all right, cool. So we send him the beat, and he does his verse, and he sends it to us, and then we're like, all right, cool, we like the verse. Like, let us know when you can re-record it, because the verse sounded like distorted, like it sounded like he recorded it like on a cheap mic. And then he said, okay. And then he said that Zach De La Rocha goes to like his studio or whatever. And he's all like, so what kind of mic should I get? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, what kind of studio mic should I get? He's like, what? You don't have a studio mic? He's like, no, like, what? And he's like, because he recorded that album, or he recorded his verse on a SM58. The Shure SM58, the handheld mic they use for live. He recorded it on that. And
that's funny.
He's like, you don't have like a studio mic, like a condenser or something. And then he's like, no, like all the Rage Against the Machine stuff we did, I recorded on this mic. He's like, what? And it was surprising that he recorded his stuff on $100 mic.
Hey man, I feel like you could get a lot done as long as you pull it off right and mix it good.
But that song's pretty impressive because his verse sounds distorted, but it sounds really cool because he sounds so aggressive in it. So yeah, man, I thought that was the whole album's pretty good. Run the Jewels is good. They got that whole like political, like they're angry all the time, but then they're like rap, They do a good job of that. They really do a good job of making like very politically charged music that you can bump at the club, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I saw the Pharrell one, and I was gonna go through it, but again, it's just most of these. When I see the mixes, I'm like, all right, gotta give them time, bro. They gotta come back. So again, when people, so like you and a few other friends mentioned that one recently, so that's pretty funny. So I'm gonna have to definitely check that out too. And that's what I like to see, who references it, because if it's a good reference, bro, it means it does good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find them like on just like randoms, and I'm like, let me see, should I listen to it? I'm like, nah, like I'll let it circle around. It'll get back to me if it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a crazy year, man. It's a lot of good music. Did you hear the new Juicy J?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I did see that he released it though.
Yeah, my brother tapped me in on it because of Logic's verse on it, and I was like, all right, let me check it out. It's cool. It's juicy, man.
Yeah.
That's what you expect of Juicy J to come on it. But yeah, there's a track on there with J Rock too, which is pretty dope.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I gotta check it out. I saw that it came out.
So do you feel that what's the name? Let me see. Where's the top list on these? Man, I forgot which one I was looking at earlier, because I was like, man, there's a list that was shocking to see the people on there. I was like, man, that's crazy.
What's crazy is that like even for the R&B stuff, I saw that they have like best R&B album and then best traditional R&B album. Like now they're splitting it between like the kind of like the
I was gonna ask
R&B,
you about that.
like the Brian McKnight or like the type of R&B, and then I guess like the Weekend type of R&B. I guess that's like now considered a different type of R&B music.
There's so many artists. I guess they got to kind of split that love. So
I get it though. There's still some R&B artists like Snow Allegra that are very just soulful types. Like they just do soul R&B music, and then you got like your Weekend, your like your Tory Lanez, your Bryson Tillers that are more like different type of R&B. Like you could tell like they're making it with a different style. It doesn't have like that soul. It's more like it's obviously it's more like sexual, which is probably the biggest thing between both styles. It's just like, and it's a little bit more explicit, like I think The Weeknd was the first R&B dude I heard that it was just cussing up a storm on a song, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, because I grew up like listening to like 112 and Boys to Men, that era of R&B, Jagged Edge and all that, like the stuff that's on Versus now, is what what I grew up on, and none of those songs had like that much explicit language because they just didn't do that. That just wasn't their style. So
no, that's true. Yeah, and I think again, like you said though, I mean, there's so much talent though. You got to split it, or else you're really gonna have them after you.
Yeah.
A lot of people chasing you, like, yo, what the hell? That's cool that
this isn't R&B.
Yeah. Oh, the best rap performance was dope that they put Pop Smoke on there. I thought that was nice.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Some people are saying he that they might give it to him,
I mean, I was shocking to see, man, his stuff was pretty good. I mean, at first, I didn't really like his stuff, but again, I had to break it down, like really listen to it over and over and over to really like, okay, I see what people see. And then I was like, all right, now actually he's good. Like,
yeah.
And my cousin was showing me a lot, like, bro, you got to like tap in on it. And I'm like, let me see. And again, first it was like, a delivery kind of sounds the same. Like, I'm not that really impressed, but then it's just the lyrical part of it and the creativity that he did on it. The pictures that he was painting, I was like, all right, now I see what he's doing. I like it a lot. And it was pretty good.
He had a song with 50 on there, no?
Yeah. I thought that was weird because I feel like him and 50 have that same kind of tone.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Like that delivery kind of sounds the same in a weird way.
Yeah. I saw that like he got like 50's blessing and stuff.
Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, it was really sad. It's kind of crazy that I didn't even know about the guy until he died. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll listen to his album because, this was going to be his this was supposed to be like his debut or something, right? And then then he's no longer here. So I was like, man, that's tough.
Yeah, and that kind of how I felt too, because I heard about him, but I wasn't listening to it at all. And then when he passed, I remember my cousin was like, bro, Pop Smoke. I was like, is this stuff even good? And I was like, I only heard a few of his stuff. He was like, bro, we got to tune in. I'm like, all right, let me check it out.
Yeah.
Again, it took a little bit to rub off, but it worked. I mean, it's really what made it happen. But yeah, I think for the best rap performance, it's going to be pretty cool. You got the Big Sean and Nipsey collab. That's pretty hard to go against.
That's right. That's true.
Then you got the Baby with the bop.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Baby, but I don't know. It's not my style of music, I guess.
Yeah.
So And yeah, Lil Baby, I don't know. I listened to like one song and I was like, all right, kind of over that kind of trend of music for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, all right, I think we should go back to how we were a few years ago where we had some real hip hop. I think it's that time to turn around.
Yeah, right. I think even with the new sound, which obviously is, Atlanta is like the hot spot now. Atlanta is what New York was for hip hop now.
Yep.
When you listen to so much of it, after a while, you can kind of dissect who's good and who's not in it. And sometimes some of these guys are just not it. And the
Yeah.
industry pushes it on you, like, yeah, this is the next guy. You should listen to him. And I'm like, nah, I kind of don't like it. Like I like
Yeah.
the guy that you guys had that was already established in that space. So
And I was gonna say it did that. I forgot what year it was when I was barely coming. Like I was a young teen or mid teens, I think. And I remember, yeah, like the South had all the, that's where the music was coming from, and then it was the other stuff. Then it was then the West Coast kind of came back a little bit. Then there was a big West Coast jump that happened when Kendrick and all them came around, and kind of went that way with Nipsey, Game, YG, Kendrick, the OTD. The West kind of had it back. Then New York took it back for a little bit with ASAP and like everyone coming out that side at that time. And it kind of felt like it went back, like you said, to the South with like more Atlanta sound coming back into the mix, which is dope. So all
yeah,
in all,
no,
though,
that's
I
true,
mean,
man.
it does a full circle. But yeah, we gotta see where it takes its turns now. I mean, I don't really count on the Grammys. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't really give any artist the credibility. If you win, you win. Congrats. But to me, it's just that show just to have it up there. Not really. Like, I mean, you got the song "Savage" on the top best rap performance. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, no, man.
it was a trending song, but it's not really a song I would put up on a top five, a top 10.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's just, yeah, with the Grammys, it's just, it's an award show. Obviously, you saw Kanye pee on his Grammy, so that
I
that's
mean,
how.
and Eminem went at it with that one, his interview with was it with Sway?
Oh, did he? I know that he
Yeah,
talked about like on his latest music that came out, like post Kamikaze and stuff, where he was talking about like I'll probably never win another Grammy or whatever, but I don't really care. Or he talked about like, I sold my soul to get the Grammy type of thing. I forgot what
yeah,
the line was. The song that he did with Joyner Lucas,
yeah,
where he said, I sold my soul to get it or something like that.
yeah. He talks about it with Sway in one of the one-on-one interviews. And he just says it like, bro, he like goes hard on it, bro. Like he fucking hates him. Like, man, he'll never go back. No invite, he'll never go back. And I'm like, man,
Yeah,
that's a lot coming from one of the top artists in hip hop. So it's like,
yeah,
do the Grammys really care? Or do they just like, we don't care, we're still gonna get people because
yeah,
it's an award, man. It's an accolade that you really. I mean, I think as an artist, you still want it, even though you're gonna, at first kind of be like, well, these big guys are saying, this and that about it. But like, if 5ix9ine won, I mean, I'm just gonna give him his credit, like, congrats to my boy. He's not gonna be like, oh, fuck that Grammy.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so again, I mean, M being who M is, like, dude, that your guy came down from the gutters, like, he's been working hard to be on that list. That's big, man.
Yeah,
That's not something easy to do, especially with all the young guys coming up right now that you would assume the Grammys are going to really give it to just these upcoming young kids, just with the trending songs versus actual like lyrical or real well composed songs, that these
yeah,
guys are really worked on. So
yeah. No, it's true, man. It's true. I definitely think that like, I mean, yeah, it's definitely cool. I mean, at the end of the day, the Grammys know what they're doing. Like, it's just a conversation, really, more than anything. And that's what they like
yeah,
doing. They like creating conversation, and it's just crazy because in the hip hop world, it's always like a controversial thing about like the nominees and who was included, who wasn't, and who got snubbed, and people lashing out that they weren't chosen. Yet at the same time, we were just talking about how much we don't really care for them, but it's
yeah,
like, but yeah, here we are, like defending artists
posting
and
about
stuff
it.
and talking about it. So I
Yeah,
mean, like at the
yeah,
end of the day, I guess it's content creation, right?
yeah. Like I said, it's an accolade you want to win. Have you want to earn it. At the end of the day, I don't think even if you hate it or feel it's on like if I was in a race for anything, I mean, to get any award is dope. So like, and that's one of the big ones. Like, man, even just to be mentioned on is dope. So I mean, if it
Yeah,
happens, it happens. But again, I think a lot of these big artists, they know how the games play. They know they were used as puppets before, and they didn't get anything out of it. So I think it hurts them a little more to be like, I'm not going to fall for that anymore. And these young guys shouldn't either. But again, bro, they grew up at a different time. Everything's a little more connected, so it's easier to pass this information along now. But the guys that are coming up, they don't know that. They just know that was always the goal, is to watch the Grammys and see your favorite artist win, and that was your end game. Like, that's what I want one day. So
that's true.
can't take that from them now. But end of the day, I mean, like you said, it's all for talking, definitely for that clout chase, which is good, man. I mean, and the young guys need it. I think they deserve to have more of that because, man, that's they work hard. They work a lot hard to do just the little clout chasing that they do and make sure that they're trending for the week. So
Yeah,
if it makes them happy, give it to them, man.
that's true, man. That's so true, dude. Especially because I'm sure the labels, they're like, oh, well, we paid X amount to get this artist out there. We deserve some sort of accolade for it. So, it might be more for the labels in the industry and anything. So
Yeah, man. How you feel about the the 2.0? I like how you called it that, bro. The stay at home.
yeah, you saw
2.0.
that. The news happened over the weekend where they were like, oh, we're doing stay at home again for the
Yeah.
end of the month. I think December 20th is like the end where this is supposed
Yeah.
to stop. But apparently, like now we have to go back to, ordering takeout only and, being staying at home, which I don't know how they're really enforcing it now because I still see people doing their own thing. So,
Yeah, I'm not too sure how that works. I know Pasadena didn't involve itself in it today. They announced they will starting midnight tonight. So they're gonna put that curfew and all that stuff in a full effect starting tomorrow. So I heard they're handing out tickets and you're not, wearing your mask in public places. If you're in a big group, they're giving warnings. If you're not listening, of course, writing people up. I don't even know what that ticket would say or be about because it's kind of like, man, at the end of the day, I know it affects everyone if you're not following these rules, but at the same time, man, I mean, everyone has the right to make their own decision. If they want to get sick, they want to get sick. You can't really control that on groups of people.
yeah, no, exactly. I think that like, yeah, that I totally understand where Pasadena's coming from. I think, because I work in Pasadena, like I see that they still have like the tables out and people can still eat at restaurants, obviously on the streets, which, even I've done that.
Yeah.
Last place I went to in Pasadena, but I didn't eat on the street because they don't have it, is El Dorado,
Mm.
Peruvian, which was really good. I got a free meal
Hey.
because they do these things on Instagram Live where they just go live and they just say, hey, like throw up some fire emojis and then you throw it up.
See
Like
if
you
you win.
won, you won. And then I guess the
Let's
dude said
start.
he claims that he's already given out like 100 meals. So
Damn.
it was really good though. El Dorado, Peruvian food. It had a lomo saltado. It was really good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever had Peruvian food, but
Nah, I'm gonna try it now.
it's really good, bro. Like I highly recommend it. Lomo saltado, which is basically their beef, and it's like
Mhm.
cut up and they put it in a bed of fries. And then they put like that seasoning sauce over it, and it's really good.
Man, making me hungry.
And they make it then they slice up like the onions and they like cook the onions so it's like sweet and stuff, and they're nice,
Nice.
and it's really good. And they have this sauce. It's a green sauce called an ají sauce, and you just pour it
Yeah.
over. And I was like, oh shoot, this is good.
Damn, man.
But yeah,
Killing me right now.
they have it. They have that, the lomo saltado, and then the pollo saltado. The pollo saltado is the same. It's just chicken instead of beef.
Okay.
But you can't go wrong with either of them. And the meat's really good. It's tender. It's juicy as heck. So yeah, man. That was a good spot that I went to.
Man.
But other than that, like obviously everything on Colorado, I seen that they've like blocked out street parking to make room for like
Yeah.
tables and stuff. And you're like, oh okay.
Man, that thing is crazy. I mean, I find it funny because it's like, I mean, yeah, they're following the rules, but still, and again, like you said, I've eaten out too, so I can't like be too much of a hypocrite on it, but it still feels wrong when I see it. Like some nights I'm like, bro, this is so packed. Like the 6 feet don't make sense because if I pass by and I sneeze out my window,
Yeah,
my
exactly.
car is close to you, bro. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna
man.
catch something, man. So I find it weird.
Yeah, and that's my thing is that like I don't mind going out if it's like low like attendance. But the thing is, like, once I see that it's packed, I just don't do it. I'd rather not. I'd rather just, go somewhere else. Or even when it goes to shopping too, like, I've driven by Paseo, and it's like, if it's like empty, then yeah, maybe I'll stop at the H&M. But if I see that there's like a group of people there, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna go. Same thing with grocery stores. So yeah.
Yeah, then I laughed at that too, because I was just at the grocery store the other day, and I'm like, man, this defeats the purpose of what we're fighting for the restaurants, because everyone's in here. No one's following 6 feet protocol, even though they tell you to. Everyone's next to each other. Even the employees are right next to each other. Yeah, they're wearing the mask, and that's supposed to help. But I mean, again, it's one slip up, man. A lot of people I see wear the mask below the nose and still not caring about like really following it to 100%. So I always like trip out on that.
Yeah.
Like my cousin, he works at Main Chick right there on Union.
Oh, okay.
And we went the other day to go get some food, and like a group of guys went in, mask on. And as soon as they walked out, they just took their mask off and were just standing around, full mask off, just talking to each other, people passing by. And I was just like, dude, that's a group of 6 guys, just no mask, just talking. We don't, like, in my eyes, I'm just like, bro, it defeats the whole purpose of what like having the mask on is for. So again, people are following the rules, but breaking them at any given point. So it's kind of hard to say like without shutting it down the way they want to do it. I hope it made a big difference last time. So hopefully everyone follows now, so it could, bro, I just want to get over the idea if we can't be like able to go out or do anything.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is that they don't make it clear as to what's allowed and what isn't, right? Because like you can be out in the open air, like on a sidewalk, for example, and you don't know whether you should have your mask on or not if you're the only person in that block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which happens. And then then at the same time, they don't tell you like what's, you know what I mean? Obviously, your mind will automatically assume like if I go in a store or in a building, I'm going to put on my mask. Because the thing that they've taught us so far, which is the only thing we kind of know, is that when you're indoors, most likely you can spread the virus. But when you're outdoors, you don't. So that's why they do all this outdoor dining, like no restaurant really wants to put out a bunch of tables on the sidewalk, but yet like this is what you've pushed them to do so that they can conduct a business. So somehow like, on top of that, we don't know what the other rules are, and no one makes anything clear. And then people just kind of make up their own mind of like, yeah, I feel good about not wearing it or whatever, or taking it off. And it just feels weird because now you're making people feel awkward.
I trip out on that all the time because I'm like, man, we go out places and I'm like, dude, so can we take it off? We sat down. Can we? No, yes. Like, I don't want to get yelled at by someone like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, so far, we've only eaten at like 2 restaurants, and it feels weird because, again, you take the mask off and you're not that far from everyone. 6 feet seems like a good distance, but it's not, man. Like, it still seems pretty close. And I'm like, it kind of does. I mean, if someone sneezes and touches something and someone doesn't clean it right, again, it still goes into the whole gist of it going back down south. So, again, I agree with the stay at home 2.0. Everyone's kind of over this whole thing already, so I don't think it's going to work the same way it did the first time.
Yeah. So, and I heard that like they were saying that like Newsom was saying that if they run out of ICU beds, like they're going to have to actually do like the whole March thing all over again, which is literally like just shutting everything down and everyone like not having to go home or not having to go to work again. For those that were able to go back to work, because there's still people who are working from home, and this is just what they're going to do is work from home until whenever they feel good to go back to the office. But, there's a lot of people that were let go or, were told to stay at home and then got their job back when they were allowed, when the business was allowed to be open again. Yeah.
No, I think, the work from home order is going to be in effect all of next year. If this doesn't get better by the end of the year, I think all 2021 is going to be stay at home kind of idea. So it sucks to say to get used to it.
The only hope right now is just the fact that there's news about vaccines being, tested and stuff. But then again, there's no definite date as to when all this will be like out there. And then if people are going to actually take it or not, we don't know. Like there's people who are like
50-50.
Some people just like the idea of there being a vaccine out there.
Yeah, I was going to say 50-50. I got a lot of people like, I'll do it. Fuck it. Like, I don't care. It's like a flu shot. And then I got a lot of people like, I ain't letting the government stick me like no rat, test me. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, at the end of the day, they do that with our food and we're okay with it.
Yeah.
We don't know what's in the food. McDonald's finally has 100% beef. God knows what they were serving us before that, because they didn't say 100% beef before.
I know, man.
Again, like the idea of it being tested or ran on finally, like around these times, it's just, we got to just see the outcome and see what happens. Because if it's going to be a weird ending of the year, bro, I'm so nervous about it.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna be, right? Because this Thanksgiving was pretty weird, right? Like, it's like
awkward.
You're looking forward to it, but then you're being told that you can't meet with people, and so you don't. And then it's just like, and then the holiday happens, but it doesn't happen as like joyful as you normally would happen, because everyone's like cautious about stuff right now.
Yeah, and that's the scary part about it. So like, to kind of give an example on that, like so it's just my cousins who are twins and from my aunt's side, and then me, my brothers, so 3 of us. Then my mom, my aunt, and then my grandparents all came together, which we usually all come together anyways, but we all hung out, had dinner, and then as soon as everyone left, my little cousin was playing around. He's not little like that, but I mean, he's my younger cousin, so but we were playing around, playing beer pong, and then he's looking at his phone. He's like, "Oh, damn, I think my friend he got the COVID." And I'm like, "When did you see him last?" And he was like, "Last week." And I'm like, bro, like, you just sat here and ate with all of us, hugged all of us." And then again, my grandparents were here, which is the bigger concern. So I'm like, bro, like, you're around grandma, like, you got to be careful with that. And this goes again to show you, like, though we're following rules, we're still breaking them, even though we think we're still wearing the mask and doing things on occasion. Like me and my friend at work, we always buy each other like drinks or something. Give or take, company policy is we're not supposed to be handing each other things, but we do it anyways.
Yeah.
And they haven't said anything about it, but again, this dude sneezes or grabs his nose or does something and hands me a drink. I grab it and I end up sick. Like, I could get my job in trouble for that. So again, a lot of these companies aren't thinking of the small things and that long run thing. So again, the stay-at-home order, I feel, is 100% needs to happen. Dude, just give us the whole month of December. Just lock everything down so by January we could be over this and we can move forward.
It'd be nice, man.
I'm trying to go to a Dodger game. I'm trying to celebrate with them.
I know, dude. We freaking won the World Series, bro. And we can't have a parade right now. We don't know. And then, like,
it kills me.
Freaking, it's just insane, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah. We won that. The Lakers won a title, and freaking NBA starting up next month, or this month, I should say, December.
Oh, like a few weeks.
Yeah, like in 2-3 weeks.
Days.
It's like, dude, we were supposed to have a parade and everything, and now we're not. So
yeah, it just skipped it, man. It sucks. So yeah, like I said, man, I hope it. I'm not like against not staying at home. Like, I do want to go out and do things, but bro, just so we could get it over with and get to that level, I'm willing to sacrifice the whole month just so we could just fix it and get it out the way, man. Because if not, we're going to be like this for all of next year as well.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. That's true.
Appreciate everybody listening, man. Thanks, Don, for having me on again, man. I love conversating and going over these topics with you. I mean, for the next one, we'll get a little more. Hopefully not keep it as long.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone stays on here. And, man, appreciate everyone that's tuning in. And again, man, let's stay indoors. Let's end this year right, man. Shout out to everybody. And appreciate you guys.
For sure. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. And we'll catch you guys next time whenever you hear it on your feed. If you're subscribed to us. If you're not, then you should subscribe to us because it should be a good one.
Hit that button.